aisle seating. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. This is Citizen Spirit number 2 live. We had ours back in June here. Wonderful. I also want to give a big shout out to Theater Raleigh Art Center for allowing us to be there. And we have some great playwrights here that are going to be sharing their work with us. We can dig in and all that good stuff. We also are going to, for the first time ever, I am going to be incorporating wine tasting. So we're going to have a wine tasting tonight. Woo! Yes. We're going to be promoting Mr. John Legend's wines, his Chardonnay, his Cabernet Sauvignon, as well as some mead. M-E-A-D, mead. So mead is honey wine, or, well, that's not the correct name, but it's wine made out of honey. So yeah, we'll talk about that. So, all right. Playwrights, raise your hand. Okay, we got 6 here. All right, so.
We need some more chairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull some more chairs in. Thank you, because I'm gonna need some more chairs. I'm gonna leave these here just in case there's more cast members. So let's do this here. Since I have Larry in the front, let's start with Larry.
The graphic nature, I think we better do an actor one.
Oh, you want to do that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Yes.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right, is everybody passed? If not, just let me know and I can kind of put you toward the. Okay, let me get you some more chairs. See some more people came in.
We can bring in some chairs from here as well.
I think he's.
Oh.
Are you reading out Xerox still?
No, which one do you want?
This one?
That's a different one.
Okay. I think we're reading. We might want to. Yvette. Yvette, can we unmask while reading?
You want to put these like somewhere and not just like everything here?
Yes.
This is enough.
Briefly looked at it.
Here's the right in the front. This is just a number.
Very Rachel.
Toulouse-Lautrec.
Okay. You guys can start whenever you want to start. Whenever you want to start.
So this is a continuation of the last piece that I brought in, and about the revolutions. And this is two women in a wine cellar during the French Revolution.
I know what the problem is.
The problem?
Yes.
What is the problem?
The problem is that you are jealous.
Of what?
Me. Everyone flocks to me during heated moments.
So what?
Well, you can't trust me to be faithful.
I have pondered on that.
Because I seem to enjoy everyone equally.
Now you've hit the soft spot, my dear.
I knew it.
But really now, how can you enjoy men and women equally?
I'm French, and we are natural lovers.
Well, I only enjoy a woman. And if we are going to be together for life, then you must go one way or another.
That isn't fair.
Well, in order to feel safe with you, then I must ask the unfairness.
If I promise you that I will love only you, then that should be enough comfort.
Oh, don't say it as if you just found out that you had an incurable illness.
Oh, please be calm. I do love you.
Do you?
I do. Even though I enjoy other things equally.
Stop making me feel insecure.
Sex is an amusement, like praying.
When one makes a commitment, then one can enjoy other things equally. Is that clear, dear?
Very well. You're such a tiger.
I'm just protecting my property.
Let me give you a kiss so that you can feel more secure.
You are such a luscious woman. Will you remember the story when they find us?
Of course. We were poor, and our husband died during the thing at Bastille.
Try not to sound so aristocratic when you say the thing at Bastille.
Fine. I'll be less French and more German.
Oh, brilliant. Do you have the jewelry?
Oh, yes. That we shall keep until we get to the countryside and this madness is over.
I think I should like to live somewhere quiet like Toulouse.
As long as they think we're sisters, we'll be fine.
Listen, they're chanting 4 more years? Well, it must be a new age cheese.
Okay. All right, Forum, take it away.
I missed the introduction. Yeah, back here, the peanut gallery. Can you give us some information?
Sure, it's called the Book of Revolutions.
Okay.
It's about different revolutions throughout history and gay people during different revolutions. So these are 2 women who are lovers. They're in a wine cellar.
I want more.
I know.
Oh, no, there is more. There's
I mean,
always-
more of this scene. Unless you're going to come back to them or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, you come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love the dialogue. It's super compelling with these 2 characters. I think there's you immediately jump into their world and you land us there so easily. It's really fun to listen to. I was curious where this scene was. Is it like a 10-minute play, or is it within the bigger portion of the play?
It's it's 3 revolutions. So,
Okay.
you know, the American, the Chinese, the Russian, and the French.
So this is the 4th
And
revolution.
so, like, one scene happens in another scene, and they go back to the other scene. So it's split up in different scenes.
Yeah, so there are four different revolutions, and
Right.
how many scenes?
Uh,
Or is it still in progress?
It's still in a little bit of progress, but it's like, I don't know how many scenes. It's different scenes. And then it shuts off, and then another scene begins, and then another scene from the other revolution.
Uh-huh,
So-
gotcha. And is there some kind of a parallel in the way each one of them moves forwards, or
No, I mean, it's just political, very political, and being what you can't be during the revolution. So they all have that in common, that thread.
And do you have a consistent impingement of current events into?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
4 more years is interesting.
The only thing that I was a little confused about was why they were meeting at this time together and what they kind of wanted from each other, what they wanted from this particular time together, like what, because you gave us such great, compelling characters and such delicious dialogue, and I wanted to see what was the importance of why we were hearing it, and what they wanted.
Yeah, this is the second scene. The first scene reveals much more.
In this revolution?
In this one, you're right.
Oh, okay, cool, excellent.
Okay, anybody else? All right, thank you so much, and let's move on to our second playwright. Let's see, who can I choose? Teddy, are you cool?
Can I take your chair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll be taking your chair.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we were here, or my wife and I were here in June, and we did, I'm working on this thing called Short Plays for the Holidays, which is 5 short plays, all centered around a holiday theme. It'll form one cohesive play. And one character from each short play bleeds into the next, and that's the connective tissue. 3 short plays, intermission, 2 short plays, go home. So, what you got?
I can't work like
It's the same script.
I highlighted my lines.
Oh. Anyway, the scene is set. This is a conference table in an office building, major office building in Los Angeles, specifically Century City. And we have 3 characters. I am, as you'll learn, an industrial psychologist, and these are 3 people who work for a company, and they're this is around Christmas time, about a month before Christmas time. All right. Oh, good. You're all here. These last 11 plus months have been some of the most challenging of my career as an industrial psychologist. And I know how hard they've been for each of you. As you know, I was brought in the company to offer counsel and therapy to those open to putting the events of last December in perspective and to ultimately heal. And while the circumstances have been difficult, it's been my privilege getting to know each of you and also working with so many of your colleagues and coworkers. It's been my honor to serve as your therapist. And I really feel that we're about to kick off this evening, what we're about to do is kick off this evening with the final step in enabling you all to move on, for your company to close this dark chapter, and to start a triumphant new one. So thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to be members of the planning committee for the 1989 holiday party of the Nakatomi Corporation. It goes without saying that last year's Yuletide Bash didn't go exactly as planned.
didn't go as planned. A team of German radicals, armed to the teeth, seized control of this building, took all of us hostage, attempted to steal hundreds of millions of dollars in untraceable bearer bonds from the company vault, and they wired this whole place with C4 in an attempt to make it look like we all died in an explosion.
And if it wasn't for...
Don't say his name.
Well, fortunately, we're all alive 1 year later. And I think this is a great idea, Dr. Wiseman. We're going to plan the biggest, bestest Christmas/Hanukkah/Kwanzaa blast this company has ever seen. This year, we're really going to raise the roof.
Raise the roof?
Yeah, Jenny, considering that last year the roof was literally blown off the top of the building, not sure great explosives, I think we should consider a smaller holiday affair.
You're probably right, Doc.
And don't refer to it as a blast.
picked each of the three of you for very specific reasons to serve on this panel. Jenny, I understand that you have been the head of the holiday party and planning committee for several years now. Everybody in the company looks to you first in this time of year to get the ball rolling on the annual end of the year celebration. To make sure it goes off without a hitch, yeah?
Oh, for sure. And I am not gonna let the terrorists win.
The terrorists are all dead, Jenny.
We're gonna party like it's 1989!
Dial down just a notch, Jenny.
83.
You were and still are Nakatomi Plaza's building security chief. And you've wrestled with feelings of guilt and inadequacy ever since that fateful night a year ago. You continue to blame yourself for what happened, and we both agree that this could be your best shot at redemption.
Thank you, Dr. Wiseman. Thank you for this opportunity. And I will. I will. No, it's just not fair.
Oh, here we go.
It should have been me saving everyone that night. Me! As a man, do you know how emasculating it was to just sit on the floor and cower while this one barefoot yahoo with a receding hairline, wearing a white beater t-shirt, went from floor to floor and took out each terrorist one by one, sometimes two by two? We were all just extras in his movie. And every time one of those German nihilists came back minus one or two of their boys and threw down his rifle or smashed a vase in frustration and said, "It was him again, Herr Supercop," all of you would look at me and be like, "Well, aren't you gonna do something too?"
We didn't think that, Elmer. None of us thought that.
Oh, yes, you did. And the terrorists did too. They'd look at me as if to say, "Du bist ein Soft. Du bist ein Scheißkopf."
Your survivor's guilt still has quite the hold on you, Elmer. But you are lucky to be alive. The one hostage chick did get up and try to do something, ended up with a bullet between his eyes.
He was jacked on nose candy. And he had no training. But here I am, former military, a former federal marshal. Sure, like everyone in LA, I tried my hand in showbiz for a bit. But this is the kind of work I was born to do. And serving as Nakatomi Plaza's building security chief was my foot back in the door. Now
You're gonna help me and Paula plan the best holiday company party ever!
Yes. And that brings us to you, Paula. I picked you because you're still suffering from a mild case of Stockholm Syndrome. You've maintained a psychological bond with your captors post-captivity. To this day, you refuse to cooperate with any police or federal government inquiries into the matter. You've always maintained a steadfast belief in the humanity of the criminals who took you hostage. And in just the short time you were under such duress, you developed positive feelings towards the terrorists that are still in part of your psyche today.
positive feelings. She still has the friggin' hots for them.
Oh my God. I still dream about that one who looked like Huey Lewis. And there was that one who looked like the hot blonde Amish guy from Witness. And don't forget that one guy who looked like Vigo from Ghostbusters 2.
Vigo the Carpathian?
More like Vigo the stud pony.
Just imagine. Just the amount of time those men took doing their hair before seizing this building was impressive.
Yes.
I mean, it must have taken some of them at least an hour, maybe 2.
I mean, I wonder what kind of cream rinse they used.
I wonder that too. I would love to get it for my husband.
I bet it was European.
Just like them!
I can't believe it. You too, Jenny?
Look, come on. If you know that if it was a bunch of playmates of the month who came in here guns blazing and took a crack at the ball, you and the other male chauvinist oinks we work with would still have your tongues wagging a year later.
Paula has a point, sir. My office conducted an internal survey and we found that 55% of the company's female employees still had sexual attractions to the Nakatomi terrorists as long as 6 months after the attack. Interestingly, 25% of the male employees also still had the husband criminals. Hey, I've seen the mugshots from Interpol.
They look like actors' headshots.
But you know what? None of them compared to the man himself. The boss. The leader.
Oh, God, that voice, that accent, that neatly trimmed beard. Oh my God, that suit he was wearing. Oh, I bet it was Brooks Brothers.
No way. John Phillips London. Do you know how much one of those cost?
This meeting is starting to feel like another hostage situation.
Indeed. Let's move on. The purpose of this is not to make anyone feel uncomfortable, singled out, or at all presumed, pressured, or inadequate. This has been a process, and I know the holiday party has been weighing heavily on the entire company. There are some who feel they shouldn't even be a party this year, but the new executive management and I think there should be, and if done right, it could
Yes, indeedy.
Elmer?
Hey, I'm here.
Good enough. So Jenny, what is our first step?
Well, at the risk of sounding like a victim of Stockholm Syndrome myself, I think we can actually take a few notes from the terrorists.
What?
The way they planned their whole heist is the way we should plan this party. They were so meticulous, right down to the last detail. We all saw the 60 Minutes report. They even knew FBI protocol. That's ultimately how they got the big vault open and almost got away with the crime of the century.
Well, you have got to admit, for organized criminals, they were really quite organized.
Almost all of them died, you know, and badly.
Oh, you are so judgmental. I can tell just by looking at you.
Play nice.
Look, I know how it all ended, but for most of that terrible night, it was really a minor masterpiece of planning and execution.
Don't you mean executions?
All I'm saying is that's how we have to be when planning this shindig. There has to be a pace to it. There has to be multiple moving parts, and we can't leave anything to chance.
Okay, agreed. And, most importantly, we keep it internal. Only company employees. Also, from a security perspective, this will probably be a big news story. So no a-hole reporters, no news vans, and certainly no helicopters. Oh, and only private security, no police. They had their chance the first time. If something goes down, I will be the one to handle it. I and I alone.
Elmer, again, I think we all just keep this small and respectful. This isn't some second chance for you to...
I mean, the LAPD showed up. I mean, we heard the sirens, and everybody was like, yay, we're saved.
Here we go again.
But what did the cops turn out to be? Imbeciles. Complete idiots. Unbelievably stupid. Then we all heard that the FBI had arrived, and we were like, woohoo, now we're saved. And I would have been cool with that. I mean, after all, they're the real professionals, the feds. But what did they turn out to be? Buffoons. Total nincompoops. They ended up turning it all into another shit show. No, it was one guy. No shoes, no socks, wearing a wife-beater t-shirt.
You have some weird undershirt envy, dude.
Damn it if he didn't look freaking great in that shirt. This one lone dude who ended up playing Rambo, playing Superman and saving the day, he got all of the accolades, all of the press coverage, all of the...
Elmer, you're kind of going off the rails here.
Yeah, like my grandma with dementia says anytime she approaches an escalator, where is this going?
Where is this going? Where is this going? All right, yeah, it's all about me. Choices I've made, roads not taken, the actions I should have taken in certain moments but didn't. Not just that terrible night, but other times too. I used to be sure of myself, and I miss that guy. The me of 20 years ago would be so disappointed in the me of today. And I can't exactly lay on Santa's couch and ask him for my youth and arrogance back.
I think you mean sit on Santa's lap. You lay on my couch and ask me for unreasonable things.
Whatever.
So what would you ask Santa for if you could?
You mean if I weren't Jewish and pushing 50?
Yeah.
I guess I'd ask him for permission to have the me of today tell the me of 20 years ago to shut the hell up.
Permission granted. Oh.
Doc, I don't suppose there's something in Santa's bag to quench the hot fire I still have down below for those hunky German terrorists.
Everyone, I'm not really looking to extend the on Santa's lap metaphor. I'm a licensed therapist, not a right jolly old elf from the North Pole.
Okay, so we have to do scene for here. We have so many playwrights coming.
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Forum. Take it away.
I love the idea. I like the fact that, and I saw your earlier one, and it didn't bother me that some people might not even know about Die Hard.
Right.
The heathens.
Right.
I just think, and again, I'm being tough on you because you obviously can write very, very witty lines, and you got laughs through the whole thing. It didn't seem to build to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Like these people had their obsessions and hang-ups. And it's partially because it wasn't on its feet.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what the action is of planning a party. It seems that, to really be more fulfilled, it could have, you know, everybody kind of tamping down their hesitation. I mean, it was funny from the get-go, but it kept the same level of funny to me, as opposed to exploding into something different.
Yeah.
And I just think maybe there were opportunities there to get to a different level.
You got some great zinger lines in there, especially this one. Yeah, so fabulous. Yes, love that line. I had a hard time following what was happening. I was trying to, and maybe it was a diehard rep. I was trying to find the relationship between the terrorists and the event party, and I wasn't following it. And, oh, yes, thank you. Until your monologue later, when you started to kind of lay it out with the format of how event planning works on the terrorist realm, and I kind of was following some of it. I wonder if we could bring some of that in earlier to establish the plot a little bit more. The plot was a little bouncy, but some zingers, yeah.
Okay, was the beat before when you said the well-trimmed, and then there was this pause, and you said beard, if that wasn't intentional, I think you should keep it intentional.
One question, how much of this did we hear? Is there more of this after she called Saint?
Yeah, about 3 pages.
Okay, but essentially the same story.
So it goes, yeah, and everybody kind of comes to a resolution they found together to put the party on together, and then they leave, and then his character says, you know what, I'll take it as far as I can go, but I really kind of need Christmas Eve off. You're the corporate travel planner. I really need to get away from this. Can you book me a flight to Dallas? And you find out. and he ends up in Die Hard too. So he can't get away from it. So he's gonna be on that plane. He's seeing Die Hard too.
So I want to echo a little bit of what they said before about it being kind of flat all the way across. I think you had a million opportunities for escalating, and then you as the psychiatrist could have brought the escalation back down, and if it keeps ramping up until some form of climax, which it almost sounds like you could have had with him talking about how the new party security is going to work and how he's going to do that, which I think the lines you had for that were good, but I think you could have emphasized them a little bit more. It could have been a little bit more passionate. This could be his moment, and I think that could have been an excellent climax. But again, it really came across the lines and the positioning and everything, and I think on stage, I think it would be a lot more entertaining. But it really was kind of straight flat the whole way, and I think you could have had the peaks and valleys with escalating conflict.
Well, what were you saying at the beginning about there's like 5 parts or something?
There's 5 short plays, and each character, so his character was in the previous play, Special Marshall, back in the 70s, and his career.
Are they all related, or are they not related?
It's a connection. They're not. It's not all Die Hard. So but they're connected in a way that will connect it all to a cohesive piece.
I love the idea that some of our favorite beloved movies, what about the extraneous people and how it affected their lives? Yeah. I love that. And if it, like the next one, if it was the same thing, like I would go see a night of that.
It's essentially that. It's kind of imagining, like the first one I said last time was, it's called Remembering Frosty. All the kids come back to Frosty after Christmas break, and all that, this is a terrible experience. Karen, who's the little girl from the first one, she falls off the roof of the house because that's what Santa left her. And she has amnesia, so they're trying to jog her memory about Frosty. And when they talk it out loud, it sounds completely outlandish. But, you know, so then they're together. So there's a character from that leads into the next one, little girl leads into the next one, and then his character leads into this one, and then the Dr. Weissman character leads into this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so we just passed out one of Mr. John Legends' wine. His wine brand is LVE. You are tasting his Chardonnay, okay? So on the nose, you can taste the white fruit, okay? Sorry, you can smell the white fruit. On the palate, it's a long palate. You can probably pick up some passion fruit, maybe some apple. What else do you pick up?
Gatorade.
Anybody else? Everybody has a different palate, so you can pick up different types of.
I taste pear.
Taste pear, yeah. A lot of white fruit in there. A little bit of vanilla, a teeny bit of vanilla that I can pick up a little bit on my palate. So that's his Chardonnay. So now we're going to this. Everybody listen. I'm going to try to sleep on your prayer.
Hi, Angela. Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
This is Angela Raleigh. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be my wine mentor. But no, she's definitely ranked. She's certified on many different levels here. And I invited her to come tonight because to help me, of course, with the wine tasting, and she brought some Vermentino.
Vermentino, yes.
That she's going to want you to try as well. So we're going to be passing that out too, and we'll tell you more about it. So, yes.
The thing I'll say about the Chardonnay is that a lot of times for me, I'm not a big fan of Chardonnay. It's got a kind of skunky aftertaste.
Yes.
Whereas this did not.
Right.
And that was really surprising and delightful.
Yes.
I could
Yes.
drink
I
it.
said the same thing. It was very smooth. I'm not a Chardonnay fan either. I'm a Sauvignon Blanc fan. Anybody else want to comment on that? Piggyback on that?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I saw Chardonnay, I'm like, I hate Chardonnay.
Awesome.
They got this.
Yeah, it's drinkable.
So you'll be educated on the Vermentino. Miss Angela's here. We want to keep it moving. Let's see here. All right, Bob. And I want to give some numbers here. Bob, Kristen, Brian, and I know I'm missing some. Oh yeah, Keith. Remember where you are. Well, let's go with right after Mr. Bob. Then we do Larry, and then Kristen, and then Keith. Anybody else? I gotta see your hands. I'm very nearsighted. Any other hands? Okay. All right, cool. You guys can start whenever you want.
Hey folks, it's been a long time. I used to be a regular, and then I've been in the woods for the last year and a half because of the pandemic. I finally ventured out just before it hits again and we have to stop again. But just a quick announcement first. I'm starting a new project. I'm going to put on my editor's hat, and I'm going to make an anthology about these shoes. I was in the thrift store recently, and I saw these pair of shoes here, and they are so worn that, to me, based on the size of these shoes, they had to be worn by dozens of children over decades to get like this. And they just spoke to me, and I wasn't sure where to go with it or what to do, and I spent 50 cents and bought them. And I was kind of around for a while, and I decided to create an anthology where everybody else writes the stories, and I edit it and publish it under my publishing imprint. And I'm going to start the process at the end of the month because I'm doing a book presentation at 12 Ridge Bookstore for my second novel. And of course I brought flyers to promote this, or I printed them and then I forgot to bring them. But I do have a stack of my bookmarks which has my email on there. So if anybody's interested in getting published poems, short stories, anything, the only thing that's required is you have to describe where the people got the shoes, how they got rid of them, and any story you want about the lifetime of the person wearing the shoes. Their family, immigrants from Italy, on a ship seeing the Statue of Liberty as they enter the country, hiding in a basement to avoid the Nazis, taking their first steps, whatever it happens to be. And if you have any interest whatsoever, I will give out, come get a bookmark, and then my email is on there. You can say, hey, look, when you're ready to announce this, let me know, and it'll give you a chance to get a publishing credit.
Is there a word count?
Originally I was going for, 10 to 15 pages, as much as 30, but I have some friends who are poets and some people who said, I might have a 2-page thing. So I think I'm going to accept anything. And then, if I need to go back to somebody and say, hey, could you do this or maybe do this, as the editor, I've never done that before. I've acted, directed, and written and done everything else, so this will be new for me. But since I have a publishing print, why not?
So he's going to be the editor, and this morning he told me, nobody edits me.
Yeah. Anyhow, this is an older play. As I've been sitting out for the last year and a half, not doing much writing, I write a lot of comedy and a lot of edgy stuff, and those of you who have been here back in the day when I was doing this are aware of this. And the current times make it very difficult to do comedy, because everything has been canceled or just, somebody might get offended. So I'm just kind of testing the waters to see if this holds up. This play has been performed many times, and a couple of my very, very good friends and great actors are going to do it for me. I'm going to do the stage direction. It's called Bob Gets Cast Out of Hell. A man walks into a diner. He picks out a booth and sits down as though waiting for someone. An elderly man dressed in ragged clothing moves from the counter carrying a bag of food. He walks to the back table and slides across from the first man, who removes his hat.
Seriously? Could you be any more of a stereotype? You're so out of place here, you may as well be carrying a pitchfork.
You're the one that picked this godforsaken fast food joint. And what's with the wino getup? You having some money trouble up there? I can possibly help you out with a loan.
Hey, you called this meeting. First, some ground rules. Number 1, watch the language. Regardless of what I look like, I am still God. Second, did you actually use the term godforsaken? These are hard-working people. Well, maybe not that guy.
All right. I'll try to be good. I just don't know why you didn't pick a nicer place.
It is a nice place. It's you who brings the racism, paranoia, and judgment. Besides, I like the food.
God picks up a wrapped sandwich, but instead of pulling out a burger, he pulls out a lobster tail.
Hey, neat trick, but I thought you liked the food here.
Actually, I just like the fries. One of the advantages of being omniscient is knowing what will happen later if I eat fried onions.
Okay, whatever. I asked you here because I have a problem.
Whoa! Stop the presses. Satan has a problem? Is this like when you gave me a problem? Injustice, self-importance, cancer? These are problems.
Look, are you going to listen or are you going to needle? This is a problem for both of us.
Okay, tell me our problem. Like I have nothing better to do.
It's Bob.
Bob?
Yeah, Bob. Remember? You denied him entrance?
Of course I remember. It was a no-brainer. Quite frankly, I'm sure that you'd be happy to have him.
At first I was, but now I think I'd like you to reconsider.
What? Reconsider? That's not how it's done. People get cast out of heaven for a reason, and this one, he has reasons in spades.
Sure. I get it, but this guy, he's wrecking my place.
So, how is this my problem?
I need to cast him out.
Are you insane? You know that's not how it works.
Sure, we both know that, but I've been doing some research. According to my legal team, there is no specific rule against it. It's more of an understood practice than a written rule. That's what they tell me. You are aware that we have a pretty formidable legal department down below.
Formidable? You have all of them. The last thing I want to do is end up in court with you. Why do you think I took this meeting? Now let's get back to this Bob. How bad can it be? You've got Hitler down here, for my sake. Put him in management if he's so bad.
Oh, don't get cute. You think I didn't try that? He completely undermined my authority. He's got no work ethic. He's got no ambition, but arrogance? Oh, in fact. I tried promoting him. He convinced everyone it was because he outsmarted me. I demoted him. He convinced everyone that I thought he was a threat to me. I am the Prince of Darkness. He wore a name tag that said, "Hello, my name is Beelzebub.
Wait a minute. This is no lawyer. What did this guy do for a living?
What happened to the all-knowing?
Do you see a terminal here?
Wait, you're not still using COBOL, are you?
It's just a few remaining systems, okay? We get a lot fewer programmers nowadays, especially since you created the internet.
Fine. And no, he wasn't a lawyer or a programmer, something much worse.
Worse. How so? Dictator? Pedophile? Congressman?
No. Writer.
Oh, well, that is bad. Poetry?
Worse. This one thinks he's funny.
I'm sure you have tried this, but why not just punish him? I mean, well, why have a lake of fire if you're not going to use it?
That's just it. He doesn't care about anything. Every vice, he's all in. A glutton like you've never seen. So I feed him only the most vile entrails. He eats it like it's Haagen-Dazs. So I take the food away. He eats brimstone. Brimstone! Could you imagine? All the static on the cable, he still watches it for hours. Justin Bieber 24/7 on the PA system, and he whistles it. That's stuck in my head.
Okay, all right. Well, I find this all amusing. We have no provision for you exiling someone from hell. It just isn't done. Do you have a proposal?
I was hoping that you would take it. You know that your standards are not what they used to be.
Hey. Keep your voice down. I'd prefer we kept that between us, if you don't mind. Besides, it's not that bad. We still have a pretty high standard.
Really? Rumor has it that you brought in a guy last week who shouted, Jesus Christ, it's Jesus Christ, when you met your boy.
All right, to be fair, my genius son had no business greeting people before they went through orientation.
Well, I'm desperate. You have to help me out. You can't take him. I don't want him. What about purgatory?
Are you kidding me? That's supposed to be temporary. From what you described, if he goes in, no one will ever get out. Eventually, he'll put us both out of business.
Wait, I have an idea. It's pretty radical.
Go on.
What if we put him back?
Back where?
On Earth.
How? He's dead already. You mean reincarnation? Immortality?
No. Nothing so extreme. Look, I've got the Russian hackers to deal with, and you clearly have your hands full with that software upgrade. I've got Donald Trump on the fritz, and you're dealing with that kooky new pope. Let's just buy ourselves some time and just put him back.
Well, all right, we have to keep it between us. And we certainly don't want to make a habit out of this sort of thing.
No, of course not. We just need to find a place to put him. How about Haiti?
You really are the devil. Don't you think they've suffered enough? Well, what about North Korea? I'll bet they won't think he's funny.
Yeah, we don't need any more instability. We need a place devoid of morality, but so politically insignificant that nobody cares that the rules don't apply.
I got it! South Carolina.
God, why didn't I see that before?
Well, maybe it's because you're not God.
Do you want me to take care of the paperwork?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Our printers are down again.
Hey, we should do this more often.
I'll have my people call your people.
You're gonna get angry letters from South Carolina.
I almost changed it to Chapel Hill. Okay, almost.
This has been performed in many places, and I always allow the director to move the place to wherever it happens to be. I wrote it in Florida, and that was the punchline, and that killed. But this has been performed in Manila, and many states around the country, and whatever floats your boat.
Of course, knowing you puts the cherry. It's I can't imagine hearing it and not knowing that you are Bob. So that's hard for me to think about.
Yeah, I resisted doing a little bit of this stuff.
Yeah.
So when I go to the supermarket and it's senior day with my wife, and they ask me if I qualify for the discount, I always do this toward my wife, just me.
Well, I enjoyed the pacing of it. It's nicely structured. It flows well.
What is this?
The pace, oh, sorry. I like the fact that you came to an ending and you didn't linger too long on it. You just ended it with a little twist. And that was it, so well done.
Well, I was certainly,
Go ahead, no,
Oh.
go ahead, Bishop.
I certainly would love to have anybody who is interested in just looking into it. I'm going to post the rules instructions for the writing project I'm doing, and I'm going to send it to Yvette, and hopefully we'll put it on the Citizen Script site so you can access it. But if anybody who wants to email me, make a suggestion or ask questions, or just so I have your email so I can send it out, it's available. Just come see me and grab a bookmark, and it's got my email on the bottom of it.
Will do, thank you.
Yeah, it was super enjoyable, and two-handers are huge right now. I mean, they're budget friendly, everybody wants them, so that's awesome. And is the whole play the two of them? Is this the whole, this is the whole play, right? This is it, yeah. I didn't understand his role, in relation to God. At one point, there was the Hades reference. At one point, I thought he might be like Mark Zuckerberg. I wasn't sure. So I was really confused on how he fit in. Not the acting, please, right? It was the connection between the language of how he fit in. And it made me think halfway through, I kept thinking, I'm not sure who these two people are until you finally did. And I love that they were in a restaurant getting fries. That's fabulous. But I wasn't sure who he was, and that distracted me from paying attention to the story, because I was really trying to figure out their connection together.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that too, Bob, that it's not evident that it's Satan anywhere in
Oh,
this.
it is Satan.
Well, it's for it, right there,
Okay.
but it might be too early.
I thought he said.
Yeah,
you said.
Yeah, I thought he
thought it
mentioned
was-
it.
I mean, clearly, he's not as bad as Mark Zuckerberg, he's only Satan, so.
I thought it was really clear who he was.
I thought it was very clear, especially the reference to
It could be the wine.
I'm driving. It's one opinion.
I like the Beelzebub reference.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
all the lawyers went to where he's at, so.
Yeah.
It's me, Bob, yes.
Long time no see.
Right.
There-
Yeah, you still look the same, okay, that's fine.
I can still barely see you.
See, okay.
There-
There's reference that, you know, you're shaded into a whole bunch of different mythologies. I don't know if it would be worthwhile, Deb just suggested this and whispered it to me, so I'm bringing it back. But you might think about the mythology of Inanna and Isis and all these other people who
Get some
help
femininity
bring
in there.
people back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would require research. I don't think Bob's doing a whole lot of research.
All right.
But I'm bringing it up anyway.
But, you know, feel free to send me any suggestions.
Okay. I was just thinking that the visuals or the whole background stuff could be interesting.
What's interesting is that this has been performed with a female Satan and a male. It was performed with a very young man playing God and an older man playing the devil. I've had it done in many different ways, and it's always, you know, seems to work.
It's always interesting.
We have that again tonight. A young man is God and an older guy is the devil.
Could God be a woman? Could God be a woman?
Absolutely. You know.
Could God be a
who had the
different?
less amount of years?
I'm sure, right? I'm wondering if it's done, if you can find it with different cultures.
You know, I drove here with Kurt, so I
Yeah,
felt kind of
we always
He just thought he was pulling a phone.
Yeah, I write a lot of stuff that's for every type of audience and every type of actor, and a lot of it doesn't make a difference. I like to try different things. So.
I did see you set up for a couple of great jokes that you didn't follow through with. Like, there could have been one great joke where, you mean like resurrection? Like the Hindus believe? You know that's bullshit. I mean, there were several setups that you could have poked fun at different religious beliefs and trying to figure out.
Probably the biggest problem with that is they then cut off the last guy, so I wanted to keep it short.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's us.
All right, so before we actually talk about the Vermentino, there were a couple comments about a lot of folks who said that they enjoyed the Chardonnay and they normally don't enjoy a Chardonnay. So one of the reasons why some people who are anti-Chardonnay people liked it is because all of the wine was not aged in new oak barrels. A lot of wineries will take new oak and some used oak, and every time you use an oak barrel to age wine, it has less and less of that oaky and smoky flavor in it. So what this winery did is they actually used some new oak and some used oak, so that kind of tempers and softens the wine a little bit. So if you're buying Chardonnay from anywhere, you look at the back and they say anything about kind of highlighting the oak barrels, then you know it's going to be oaky. If they don't really talk about it very much, you have a little bit better of a chance of it being a little bit less oaky. And sometimes they may even mention it on the label whether or not it's new oak or used oak. Okay? Also, the wine that you had is from an area in California called Carneros. It's actually 2 different vineyards that these grapes were grown on. Part of Carneros is in Napa Valley. Some of you may have heard of Napa, a really famous wine region in California. And the other very famous region is Sonoma. So the grapes in the Chardonnay you just had were actually from Napa and Sonoma. So really, really nice balanced wine. It was a great, great choice of that. Okay, so the wine you have now should have tasted very different. It's an Italian wine called Vermentino. It's from an island off the western coast of Italy called Sardinia. So it's actually one of the islands in the world that have the most individuals over 100 years old. And a lot of it's due to the very, very healthy lifestyle. They eat what they grow because it's pretty far from the mainland. So the differences between the 2 whites, you should have noticed this was kind of crispier, almost a little lemony, a little bit of zest to it. And that's really due to the soil. So tens of thousands of years ago, there was a volcano that erupted, and there was a lot of sort of petrified ash in the soil, and that continues to lend a lot of mineral flavors to the wine, and that's what makes it very, very zesty. So enjoy your California wine and your Italian wine. So enjoy. You're welcome.
And as they say on Monty Python, now for something completely different. The title of the play is Trinity. And a word of explanation, a threnody is from the Greek. It means a song for the dead. This is an audio play, so I will have Mary reading the audio sound cues. The last word in the play is Shanti. Shanti is a Hindi word meaning inner peace or happiness. So, without further ado.
The setting is an underground parking garage after a nuclear attack. At Rise, we hear the sound of rubble collapsing, distant sirens sputtering, and rocks falling.
Polly!
I'm here.
Polly!
I'm with you.
Polly! Polly!
I can't feel my legs.
Polly!
What?
Polly!
Wait. No, yes.
Polly!
The roof fell in.
Polly!
Something stinks. Must be me. Shit, my
Polly!
brains.
Polly!
I'm thirsty.
Polly!
Noise?
Polly!
Big noise.
Polly!
Light.
Polly! shut up a while? Polly! Oh, Christ. Polly, shut up. Polly, use my real name. Polly, oh fuck. Polly, say something else, will you?
Rocks fall, water drips, one last siren blast.
Polly, right here, same as before. Polly! Can't feel my hands. Polly! Shut up! Polly! Or don't.
Steel beam falls nearby, very loud.
Shit! I can see a piece of sky. Polly! Dirty gray. Polly! Oh, not again. Polly! Oh. Polly! Blood all over her hand. Out of my mouth. Damn! Polly! Oh, that hurts! Ah, damn it! Polly? I wonder if my penis still works. Polly! Not that it matters. Polly? I saw a man die once. Polly! Tried to forget it. Polly! Couldn't. Polly! Polly! My right arm is numb. Polly! Not with the bang. Polly! T.S. Eliot. Polly! So this must be Polly! The wasteland. And I must be Polly! Shit. Ah! Ah! Polly! Dad? Son? I used to do cartwheels. Polly! I love San Francisco. Polly! Mom died. Polly! I hate that name. Polly!
Water drops.
Polly! Polly!
Rock falls.
You! Bring him back. Please! I'm all alone. Hear me, damn it. He's a good boy. He has a good wife, a great kid, a great future. Stop it! Bring him back. You brought him back. Do the same. Do the same! He doesn't deserve this. I can't live without him. Please, damn you! Please! Hear me! For once, hear me! Oh, hell. Shanti. Shanti. Shanti.
Water drips a long time. End of
Okay, floor. Pick it up. Oh, ahead. Did you have your hand up?
Yeah, well, I'm really curious about how this would end up being directed. Because I think there's some things that could make it really shine, or things that it could fall into like a rhythmic sort of like chanting world that kind of takes us away. Like it feels cool, but it actually takes away from the storytelling of it. So I'm curious about the rhythm of the repetition. I don't have any like feedback, but that's something that I'm really curious about if you thought of.
Well, I directed it originally. It came out very rhythmic and rather sing-song.
Yeah, right.
And the actors wanted to vary the rhythm a little bit, so I went with that. I tend to go with what my actors do, but it is intended as music, which is why I intend it as an audio play. And I'm aware I don't want this to be a comfortable experience. So.
You don't want it to be what?
A comfortable experience.
I kind of agree with the darkness, but every now and then, particularly maybe with the screen, a flicker of light somewhere. You know, I can see the darkness, but it's got to be some light coming from
that could
somewhere.
work.
I think if to help it move away from a sing-songy nature, I'd be really curious about who these people are talking to very specifically. And that sort of comes out also in the direction. I mean, none of this, like, obviously the writing is so good, but these are questions and, you know, okay, does it work better for these people to be talking to themselves or to be trying, you know, like.
We had to have a lot of conversations about that.
Did you land anywhere specifically, or?
I think we landed, the place we landed, I think, was that both these men are sort of moving in and out of consciousness because they've experienced a huge shock.
Right.
But I'm sure I frustrated them because I couldn't give them like any definitive, this is yes or no answers.
Would probably have to come with, see what works.
I took it as, I hear someone calling my name over and over, but I don't know who it is until at the end I realize it's my dad. But before that, it's sort of like you said, I'm slipping in and out of consciousness. It's like I'm losing all feeling in my body. Who keeps shouting my name? Shut up. But not knowing it's my dad.
So maybe the direction comes more in the polys, like what is the differential between those things? Like, how close does he think he is?
Right, and I wrote that really as a challenge to the actor. So see what you can do with just having one line repeated infinitely.
Kristen, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I love the musicality of the piece. I think it was so profound, and when we found out that he was his father, it like my stomach sank because and it really built. It didn't bother me that I think that's a great thing. I love what you did with the repetition, and I think, you know, there's so many different ways you can play with your intentions with those repetitions, but the build, even though it started so high, it kept getting higher and higher, and it made us so uncomfortable because of that, but in a really profound way. And I almost I just kept hearing, I kept thinking a great sound design potentially could be even having a heartbeat, like a heart monitor heartbeat under it, and then hearing the dead,
the sound, you can't really tell from the stage directions, but a good sound designer would be playing the sound off of the actors. It's written to be very incomplete on the page, and then you have to flesh it out.
They did a beautiful job. I mean, your
They
pacing,
did.
y'all.
They did a superb job.
Really great job.
Larry, I don't mean to insult anyone, but this is the first piece of theater that I've seen tonight. Everything else seemed to me like TV, television, you know. But this is the first theater. It's immersed me, and I was just very, very drawn to it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan,
So Larry, I got a minor thing that I think would add to the ambiguity that you've got going on. There's one line that Chris says was it a nuclear war, radiation, all this other stuff. If you also added something along, or did the parking garage just collapse, or police on the stairs? You kind of nail it down to something big, but if you could also include something small, then you've no idea. Is help on the way and just not going to make it in time, or is there no help coming, or just?
No, there isn't.
Yeah,
This is
well,
it.
I understand that, but I mean, clearly not. But
Yeah.
if you add an element of hope, that ultimately gets crushed. That's even more profound. Just a little thing.
Thank you, Brian.
Janet? Thank you, Brian.
I'm going to reflect back on an experience that I had in 1986 when I was in a rehab hospital. I was with a lot of people who, there was definitely a family that had their daughter on a rolling bed. She never snapped out of her coma, and they were always convinced that she would. And this kind of brings that back up. There's like, you know, there's the continuation of hope and not letting go, along with severe grief. But I think that your writing here, you've got your cast. You have it, it's right there. And I really like this piece.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on.
Thank you very much, Kate.
Okay, what do you need?
I need.
Who has not read tonight that will fit into the cast?
I need an older actress. However you want to define that.
Amy, anybody?
I need someone to place. I need someone to read stage directions. And then I need someone to read their. It's a male announcer voice. So kind of like a game showy male announcer voice. That would be great. And then I do also need one person that has no lines, but they play an audience member. So if somebody wants to come and have a brief moment on the stage and basically do whatever is being asked of them, and they get a prop. Yeah, please, thank you. And if you want to bring that here, you have this bigger chair. And imagine this is very big. This is an early first draft, so please keep that in mind because this is going someplace. It's a 40-minute solo show with integrated voices, and it's all about a woman's journey towards menopause. I know nothing about that. So yeah, you're obviously Sally in that. Oh, it's the dating show. Yeah, that's it, yes. Yeah, I think the rest of it's gonna, you'll, okay.
At Rise, stage center stands a tree. A tire swing with painted daisies hangs from it horizontally to the ground and is being suspended by 3 chains, which are deep clamped to the rings of the tire.
Our featured contestant, a woman in her 50s.
49.
A 49-year-old Spitfire from Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Sally, come on down. All right, Sally. You've won a 30-minute break from taking care of Pops. Congratulations. This you can add to it. A lifetime of freedom, a live-in caretaker for Pops, and a dream date with Benedict Cumberbatch. You'll guess the value of this golden prize. But first, you must locate the golden egg. No, not there. Sally. Audience members, look under your chairs. If you found the golden egg, bring it to the stage. Oh, come on down.
Come on, hurry. What's your name, friend?
Sally. No, not Sally. Susan.
Okay. Some love. We got this, boo.
Sally, you and Susan,
Mm-hmm.
start by cracking open the egg. Go on, I'll wait.
They open the egg, reveal 2 pieces of poster board, and Sally tosses the shells off stage. They hold up 2 pieces of poster board, each with numbers on them. One with numbers 494 and the other with numbers 509.
You'll notice there are 2 pieces of poster board with numbers on them. Now, Sally.
Yeah, I got you.
To win this dream prize, you must put the numbers in the correct order, which equals the value of your dream prize. Is the retail value 494,509 or 509,494? Audience members, let's hear your votes.
Which one? Which one is it? Come on, wait. Which one? What is it?
500.
Okay, I got it.
$1.
And the actual retail price is outside the realm of possibility. Since your mother left, there is no freedom for you, and Benedict Cumberbatch is married.
No, that's not right. This isn't how it's supposed to work. It's not. Look how you made her cry. I want another try.
Oh, sadly, life is filled with disappointment, Sally.
No, but I'm about to.
But we do have a concession prize.
Bring it. Money, 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 money.
Susan may take her seat and watch as your life stops.
What? Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Where? I wish it was a house. Okay, go on now.
Once again, all alone. Enjoy your final 30 minutes of freedom with your childhood tire swing.
Final?
Setting the timer, starting now.
30 minutes? This is my last conversation with civilization? Pops is with the nurse right now. Been having memory problems since Mom left, and his only interest is watching the news every day. MSNBC drove her out of the house. Won't stand, won't go outside, just sits, eats, watches MSNBC all doggone day. He'd rather die than have me put him in a home. That would kill him. She's already left him. God, there's no one else. Look at that. The final 30 minutes of freedom, and I can't stop talking about Pops. Pops put this tire swing up for my 7th birthday. I entered the age of reason, but Pops was determined I remain his little girl. Painted the daisies myself. I am not ready for the roles to shift, to suddenly go in reverse. I mean, why climb the tree when you can see the whole forest from the tree? Am I right? A good thing I wore pants today, or y'all would have gotten to see a little treat with your ticket. It's weird seeing a 49-year-old woman up in a tire swing, huh? I mean, it's like my wheelchair got a flat tire or something. Like, whoa, Nellie, don't worry. I'm just as close to death around here as I'd be in my chair. The tire swing. She's been in my family for years. Belonged to my mama. She passed it on to me when she no longer wanted it. Sally, this is your childhood. Go on, take it. Take it. I don't want it anymore. So I took it. Mama moved on with her life, and the tire swing, well, she moved on with me. Her round rubber, nothing can break her. She holds me. I'm scared. A great force in the wind. Everybody meet Wendy! She's fancy in her painted daisies when she flies. I feel free. I don't feel alone. My unbridled freedom. She gives that to me, you know, unconditionally. I had hoped. I want was to pass her along to my child. Pops Pops offered to take Wendy down when Mama left, but I told him, Pops, we ain't putting anything down today. No one is giving up. Mama used to say, give me that little old lady her freedom. She gets into trouble. Teach her the right way. She might as well be dead. Mama loves tradition. Convention, always has, always will. I hear her voice often in my head, especially this time of year. More of a wish, I guess. I really screwed up. That's better. Wendy, let me know you care. When we're flying together, me and Wendy, time stops. I mean, Peter Pan never aged, right, Wendy? Hey, is there, such a thing as a female Peter Pan? My birthday's tomorrow. 5-0. It's a big one. Not like everything will go dry at the stroke of midnight, and an old lady needs to prepare. A trashy word. Menopause, like men on pause. Scarlett O'Hara on pause. Well, I do declare, where are all my callers standing on pause when they should be leaping at me? I say leaping. They should be leaping, barely crawling when they make the effort. Am I worth the effort? Am I that much of a disappointment? I mean, I'm a little stuck in the past. And safe there. Familiar. This is a story of how I won't grow up. Sally's a little old fountain of youth. Step on it. The swamp is fine.
Sally steals Wendy's motion and uses her to illustrate the stages of life.
I'm a Southern belle, like Scarlett O'Hara, without the hoop skirt, but with all the romance. Oh, we all get the romance. Hold your strollers, kiddos. It's gonna be a bumpy night. When you live in the South, everything revolves around the top of a baby's head, which some smells like heaven, to others smells like a head. Here's Scarlett again with life lessons. Well, I'm the center of the universe, but for those who like this sort of thing, take some soil, add a twig of hair, some eyelashes, and you've got North Carolina. Congratulations, you're born, you've made it in. You go to school, you find someone, and you're like, get pregnant and married, or get married and pregnant. You're grown up. Here's my main man, God. Cool. You won't, I don't know, kill each other? Here you go, stamp. Some call this a marriage license. Fiddle-dee-dee. You follow that tradition, conventional pattern. Mama be so proud. Ah, youth. Back in the 80s. I'm in my early 20s, and some of you just had been born. I had the biggest crush on New Kids on the Block. It's like a whole unit. Why would you have one when you could have all 5? My girlfriends and I would eventually claim our celebrity like that Golden Corral when you claim your steak. Order up! Jonathan's too safe and well done. Ooh, ooh, Johnny. Joey, while medium well is too young. Oh, 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 what is that song? Oh, 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 well, Johnny, well, Joey, a medium well is too young. Oh, 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 Danny's a medium rare, but that rat tail, oh, 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 Danny's rare and too raw. The right stuff. Jordan. Jordan is just right. He's the baked potato with all the fixins. So, I became a vegetarian. As I kiss his poster, every night I wonder about that domineering power of the fans. We're an unrelenting breed. I mean, on the red carpet, these poor little famous people who would hide who they were dating, and if they had plans for marriage, kids on the horizon, like they could only have one, fame or family. You're famous, so you can't be normal. How dare you? Normal. Yeah, what another word.
Sally caresses the wrinkles on her face. She demonstrates a frowning face in a lower voice and a smiling face in a high-pitched voice.
Frown lines. Smile lines. Frown lines. Smile lines. Mama said when I smile like this, my whole face lights up. That was before I had a road map on it. Huh. Ain't enough eye cream in the world to erase this mess. I digress. Celebrity unattainability. The instant a celebrity gets married, they're ripped off the fairy tale market and plopped into grown-up land. The void becomes real when these fans find themselves alone. Again, with themselves, in their patterns. They were delightful. There were the delightful days in Hollywood when there were secrets.
Sally then saunters over to the child screen, whimsically dancing around the ropes. End of play.
Sorry for all the references.
It's like, oh, oh, oh.
Thank you, y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, Forum, what do you have to say?
Seriously? Oh my God. I love that man. Thank you.
I really like the device of the tire swing, and I could see her interacting with more. I wasn't sure if they were in her mind or actual physical objects. But then I was going back and saying, do we really need the game show? Because it seemed to fall away, and I might have missed something there, the interconnection. But I'm not sure if it needed the game show, because I could just see like a woman of a certain age going through her childhood. No, I'm not saying that sarcastically. A woman undergoing menopause just interacting with the things of her past, and that being a very satisfying monologue / play. I think the game show set me off on a different kind of expectation as to style, which was fine, but then it became a deeper, more serious thing, which I also liked.
I think I love that. I think I like the expectation being totally shattered
Okay.
and having something different, like made me way more, like even more engaged than if it had just started as a monologue, personally.
Yep, that's fair.
So you like the shift?
Yeah, like you didn't, it felt very sandbox, like, it's Beckett, right? Sandbox, the sandbox? Julie Fischel did it a long time ago, it's like a woman getting piled in sand. It felt, Albie, thank you, one of those. It felt very, like, in that world, and the game show, I think, really added to that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering, is there a possibility that the game show is happening in this character's mind, or is it really she's up here and then she gets introspective? I'm just curious if you were leaving that up to the audience, or...
This whole thing is in her mind.
Okay.
Yeah, this
So
is
you don't
yeah.
see.
They are both off stage.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Which
Okay.
is, yeah, it's part, yes. I have to go into more details of stage directions, I think, to make that clearer. But, and when she hands you back, she says, I wish it was a house, and she hands you back the eggshells. That's when the audience member actually comes back to the seat. So you don't actually
actually stay up there the whole time.
Gotcha.
You just have a little stint, so like every night it would be a different person getting to come up to the stage, and it'd be a different name of a person.
But the swing is there.
The tire swing is there in front of the tree, and Sally, and you are the only, and then there's things inside the tire swing. And this is the first 10 minutes of the play. There's still 30 to go. So there's stuff in the tire swing later in the play that we discover how she gets through her journey as well.
I thought it was great the way you let her play both mother and herself.
Yeah.
I thought that was great and correct.
At the end of the monologue, you put in like a ding, 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 the game show noise.
Yeah.
Is that in the script or?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. I was wondering about that.
I enjoyed the poignancy that was in her monologue. She shows a lot of her inner life in it. That's what I found appealing about it.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Like, wait a minute.
Okay, we got more chairs.
I just need two.
Thank you. This is the middle of the class.
I just need.
There's some stuff up there, but I don't always get public links. Sometimes it's internal, like, sometimes they never send it to you.
Hey guys, just to get this moving along, I'm not gonna have anybody read the stage directions. Just know that a lady is on her laptop watching something on her laptop, and her husband walks in on her. Nurse McCall.
Tom, you know we're way beyond this. You don't have to call me Nurse McCall. Especially here in this dark corridor of the hospital.
I'm sorry, Dixie. It's just, I'm so used to being professional, and I don't want us to get fired. Not to mention, we have to be careful. We can't let anyone on staff know of our affair. Especially the husband.
I understand, sweetheart. I really do. I just long for the day when we can be together. Forever.
Oh, no! I think I hear someone coming.
Okay, let's get back to work. I'll see you, Miss Franklin. Yes.
Of course you will, my love.
Honey, I was just talking to, hey.
Oh my God! Turn the lights.
I was just, why are you sitting in the dark?
Will you get out?
What? What's the matter?
Nothing. Oh my God! Will you just get out and please dim the lights? Can't a woman have a little privacy?
Were you meditating?
No, you know I don't meditate.
What were you doing?
None of your business. Oh my God! I just wanted a little bit of me time. Jesus. Just forget it. I'll come get dinner started.
Were you on your computer?
Huh?
It seemed like you were on your computer when I walked in. Oh, you watching something sexy? Were you watching porn?
Randall, you just...
You were, weren't you? Well, you little dickens, naughty naughty. I caught my wife watching porn.
Will you just get out?
It's okay, honey. Don't be embarrassed. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm not embarrassed.
I think it's a great thing. You know, most people think it's just guys who watch porn. I'm so tippy-toe happy for you. My God, I'm so surprised, honey. This is great. Really, it is. Maybe this is something we can do together. You know, maybe spark to get us going again.
Randall, I don't think...
Oh my God! In all the years of our relationship, I never knew this side of you. I'm so excited. It's like a whole new world has been opened up.
Randall, you don't understand.
what are you into?
What?
Oh, what are you into? Is it freaky stuff like midgets and shit?
What?
You know, like orgies and daisy chains and...
No! And what the fuck is a daisy chain?
It's when a group of lesbians...
Oh my god. What is wrong with you?
It's okay, honey. I don't care what you're into. I support you 100%. I can tell you what I'm into.
Daisy chains, apparently.
And you can tell me what you're into. No judgments whatsoever.
You're being so annoying. You don't even know what's going on. I'm not into orgies or fucking daisy chains, whatever the fuck that is. I don't want to know.
But if you did like that, honey, I'm just saying, I'm all for it. No judgments here.
It doesn't sound like.
I'm so glad to know this. This is your truth, honey. And you don't need to hide it from me. I want you, I want to know your every thought, your every need, your every fantasy. I'm sorry I interrupted your me time, but now that I know this, I think we should watch it together. What do you say?
You really want to know my every thought and my every need, huh?
And every fantasy.
Uh-huh. So if we watch this together, what's going to happen? Where do we go once we find out each other's needs?
Who knows, honey? That's the exciting part.
Well, what if it's a need? Well, okay. Well, what if it's a need that the other's just not into?
Well, I'm not scared. I'm open-minded. Whatever you're into, I'm willing to make it happen for you, or let it happen, whatever it is.
Really?
Yes, and if I'm into something that you're not into, I don't expect you to participate or engage, if you know what I mean.
So you want to see what I was watching?
More than anything.
And you want to do what I was watching with me, no matter what it is?
I'm as open as a 24-hour CVS.
Okay, pull up a chair.
Oh, this is like 70s stuff. Look at the film quality.
Yeah, it's old, but it's timeless.
Ooh, my girl, she liking the old stuff, the classics.
Uh-huh.
Love the vintage quality of the film and all the bad haircuts and bad acting.
Yeah, you seem to know a lot about vintage.
Ooh, a hospital, a nurse. I see you like a little role play. Okay, all right, I see. I bet it's time for the nurse to do an exam. Whoop, whoop, turn it up.
Oh my god.
Ooh, here comes Mr. Paramedic Man.
His name is Randolph Mantooth.
Ooh, sexy Man-Tooth. Such a burly and strong character name.
That's the actor's name. He's a regular TV and movie actor. His name is Randolph Mantooth.
Ooh, crossover actor. I like it. What's the name of this?
Emergency.
Yeah, I bet there's an emergency in his pants.
Will you shut up? Just be quiet and listen.
Yes, ma'am.
And learn.
I'm sorry, what?
Just be quiet and listen and learn.
I'm so glad you're here. Did anyone see you?
No, John, I don't think so.
I've been wanting to hold you in my arms all week.
Ah!
Right?
I got these for you. They're ghost orchids from Havana.
From Cuba? Oh my God, John! What beautiful flowers! I've never seen these kinds of flowers before.
They are rare, my love, just as rare and beautiful as you are.
Get it on, Man-Tooth! Shh!
I love your apartment. Oh my God, you've set the table. I love the candlelight. You're so romantic, John.
Ah, here we go. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Perhaps I'll draw you a warm bubble bath later this evening.
My man.
But first, I made you a braised lamb with sauteed vegetable melange.
You shouldn't have. You treat me so well, John.
You deserve it, my love.
Well, there is a lot of dialogue in this.
John, you're so romantic. I love this. And I love you.
Shall we dance?
Oh, yes, John. Yes.
What do you think so far?
Huh? It's good.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I really like it.
Really?
Yes, Randall. This gets me really hot.
Well, okay. They sure are dancing a long time.
Isn't it romantic?
Uh-huh. What the fuck? Is that a commercial? Who ever heard of a commercial during a porno?
It's not a porno, you ding-a-ling! It's a show on TV! Just a regular TV show
sex?
No, you dummy! It's a show called Emergency. It came on in the early 70s.
Well, that's odd. Why are you watching it?
My mom used to watch it when I was growing up. She had the biggest crush on John Gage, and I guess I did too. He was so ruggedly handsome and romantic.
Who is John Gage?
The guy on the show. Randolph Mantooth. Mr. Paramedic Man?
Ooh, well, why were you embarrassed to be watching it when I came in?
Because I was,
What?
you know, getting excited. Oh my god, do I have to spell everything out for you, Randall? I was...
Masturbating? How nice for you.
Well, it would have been, but,
I interrupted you.
yes, you interrupted me.
You were gratifying yourself.
Trying.
Having a hand party?
Yes.
Cruising for an oozing?
Oh.
Flying solo, as they say?
Randall, you're making me feel weird.
I'm sorry, honey.
It's perfectly normal to please yourself. You, of all people, should know that.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. It's just
what?
I don't understand why you had to hide it from me.
Do you hide porn from me?
Good point.
We all have our desires, Randall. As much as we want to. I can't always be your porn star, and you can't always be my dreamy paramedic. As long as we've been together, I know we both want to make the other happy. I mean, you just said it yourself. You want to do what I was watching with me, no matter what it is, right?
Yes.
No matter what it is, right?
More than anything, I said, and I mean it.
As open as a 24-hour pharmacy or something, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, Randall. I know it's hard to be something you're not. I'm not a porn star.
What? And I'm not a steamy paramedic?
Not all the time, honey, no. I'm just trying to tell you what I need. I just need more romance in my life, more music, more dancing, more tenderness, more love. More attention from you, and not some 70s heartthrob.
Shit. I'm sorry, honey. Susan, there are 24 hours in a day, and I'm pretty sure I think about sex for 22 of them. It's no excuse, but I'm pretty sure we're wired that way.
Well, instead of 22 hours of thinking from this head, all I'm asking is for 1 or 2 hours from this one. Do you think you can handle that, Dr. Gage?
Yes, Nurse McCall, I can do that. I promise you, I will.
Don't make promises you can't keep, Doctor. So you ready for that orgy?
What? You've got to admit, Randolph Mantooth is the perfect name for a porn star.
If you say so, Ferb. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you go draw me a warm bubble bath while I look at your browser history?
I'll be glad to. Nurse McCall, stat.
And you never know, there may be an emergency in your pants later.
Thank you for the greatest coat reading I've ever heard.
Is this a different?
Oh, no, you ain't
Brian, it was really sweet and fun. And this is a minor quibble, but I watched a lot of episodes of Emergency, and I loved Gage and DeSoto, but he was like a Jimmy Stewart. Like, they had a romance once in a while, but he would never be caught dead talking that way, which is why it was a good show. So that just bothered me. If it was a fictional soap opera, you might have lost the tie-in with Emergency, but that bothered me because that's a real, Julie London and Randolph Mantooth are real characters, and they just didn't behave that way.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair point.
But I like the idea.
Very good word. Yeah, I heard Mantooth and I was like, God, that's such a...
Yeah, you can.
But he was like a Jimmy Stewart kind of like,
right.
yeah.
That's good.
I enjoyed the sweetness of it. I enjoyed the story. It could benefit from some editing because I felt like the build-up was a little too long to all the wild stuff that he was expecting, and that because you've really got, you know, two real important stories in here, and I just felt like maybe you should have moved a little faster on the first part to get to the second part.
Can you give me a little more on that, like what section or?
When he's built, you know, when he you know, assumes it's a porno film, and he's saying, oh, it must be this, it must be this, it must be that, and I felt like that could have been shorter.
So you could see the ending coming, like, is that what you're saying? I felt a little with that way too.
It just seemed disproportionately long in comparison to the climax. Sorry. Oh my God. I did not set out to say that. No one believes that, but.
So Larry, I'm just confused on which section in particular.
The part where he assumes it's a porn and he's saying, oh, it, you know, and I can't remember.
Where he's wallowing in his imagination.
It's like a laundry list of things.
Yeah, this is down to quality, and that's very funny, but I think it could be just as effective in a shorter time.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
One thing supporting that is that Randall lasted a lot longer than I would have lasted personally, but, and you might be to know that Jack Webb, the creator of the show, was married to Julie London. They were divorced. Then she married Bobby Troop.
Right.
And he asked both of them to be on the show, his ex and her new husband, because he played Dr. Early. And apparently Randolph Mantooth was a very big fan of Julie London's singing career.
He was a great.
Wow, there's more you know.
And he says Bob doesn't do research.
That's true. Well, I thought it was porn, so I
wasn't expecting an emergency lesson.
Anybody else? Hand raised that I can see, because I'm real nearsighted. Yeah. Anybody else? Nope.
Nice work, guys.
All right. And our final one is Mr. Keaton, or I hope I pronounced your name correctly. And he's coming up, and same room. Rub 'em. I know they're so stuck.
Okay, I'm the last one. I'm the last one, so I got a chance to, it's my first night here, I got a chance to see everybody. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. This is like a thought I had in 1983, and I just brought it about. I finished writing it December 19, right before COVID. It's like if you looked at the stage, it would be the church, Dorothy's house, and the Land of Oz would be over there. So spotlight will follow. As it is today, we're gonna have 3 scenes of the actual play. It's called The Preacher in the Land of Oz. And what I'm here tonight for is just to critique, and you know, I want you guys to let me know what you think. You're very good. Another thing too, I'm looking for an original score in scene 4. And the theme of that would be Job has made God mad. And I just want, if you're a writer of a song, I need a song. All right, original score. And the songs I have are by Wayman Tisdale, 21 Days. So I have to get permission for that. But Wayman Tisdale has the best gospel jazz album. It inspired me to finish the play, 21 Days. Okay. No, you're one of the ones I wanted just to read. I mean, just to have in your hand because you're so good at the critique.
Take my lead.
I'm sorry.
That's great. Thank you.
Certain people got them because y'all are good critique. Thanks, Rev. Okay, it starts out in the church scene. Yeah, you can read stage. Yeah.
I got you. Scene 1, the project. Church scene at Pastor Tate's church, aka Uncle Paul. Church scene opens with the singing of the choir. Singing. Do you want me to read this one? Yeah? Okay, I got you. Church scene opens with the singing of the choir, singing La Andrea Johnson, Better Days. The singer involves Dorothy in her ministry. Awesome performance and heartfelt.
Good morning. It is so good to see everyone here this morning. If the devil had his way, we would not be here today.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. All that want to go to heaven, stand up on your feet. Amen. Amen. Dorothy, why didn't you stand up? Did your feet hurt, girl? Come up later for some prayer. Dorothy, again, why are you not standing? Don't you want to go to heaven?
Oh, I want to go to heaven, yes, but not with that bunch.
All right. I just want to leave you with a thought. Turn in your Bibles to the book of Job. Job chapter 1, verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. I'm going to venture out today and go in a different direction.
Let the Lord use you, Pastor.
Why, thank you, Mother. I will. Dorothy, you looked puzzled when I said that Job was perfect. Do you have any questions about that? I normally address these topics in prayer meeting, but you and some of the others don't come then, so we will do it now. Dorothy, do you think you can be perfect?
No, but I never thought about it.
Okay, sister. Most of us have not thought about living a perfect life. Here is an assignment. Study the scriptures, especially the book of Job, and come ready to give a report on next Sunday. Church is now dismissed. All right, y'all, now unto him that is able to keep us from falling and present us faultless. Did you hear that, y'all? The Word of God says faultless. He can present us faultless.
All right. Scene 2, the dream. Curtain closes and Dorothy walks home and sees Pete.
Perfection. Is that possible? Can someone like this guy be perfect like Job? There, by the grace of God, go me.
Pete never speaks, but he is high there up on the step.
My mother used to always say, be careful. You might just be entertaining an angel. He is no angel by far.
Dorothy walks home and Uncle Paul has not arrived from church, but Aunt Sally is in the kitchen.
The food's almost ready. You have a good lesson to research. Job was a perfect and upright man. There are several perfect people in the Bible. You know about Jesus. But Noah's called perfect in his generation. I guess he was in a wicked generation because Noah cut up, child. But remember, only thing that matters is how Jesus and his Father sees you. And if they call you perfect, you are perfect. Another person is a man called Nathaniel. He's called a man to whom there is no guile. I understand that guile is deceit. Now that is a good recognition by the Savior. Oh my, I hope this helps with your research history.
Oh, thanks, Aunt Sally. I think I'm gonna go lie down. Let me know when the food is done.
Scene 3, finding the Bible. Dorothy meets self on this road.
Ooh, where am I?
Are you cray-cray? You are in the land of Oz. No longer in Kansas, baby. What'd you come down here for?
Music plays, what you come down here for.
Looking for old man Joe?
How do you know my name? Who are you? And what do you know about that song?
I am you. I am that hinders you on your Christian journey. And girl, you make my job easy with all that mouth. You will never get back home. What is that in your hand?
Oh, I found this Bible over there.
It belongs to the preachers from the East and the West. The brothers fought over it, and the West won and hid it over there to keep the brother of the East from
from learning when he was born and other family treasures. No one has ever found that Bible. I even looked for it.
Stop right there.
Who are you?
It does not matter my name. Just know that I am here to show you a true man of God, tried in the fire.
Dorothy turns to her friend, Self, with excitement.
He must mean Job.
God's talk with Satan.
Whence cometh thou?
From going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it.
Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that escheweth evil?
Ah, hast not thou made a hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Thou hast given him 7 sons and 3 daughters, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, and 500 oxen, 500 she-donkeys, and this man is the greatest of all men of the east. But I beg you to put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand.
Satan leaves. Curtain opens. Job, Pete, stands and oops.
Job looks like that man that always stands outside of our church on the corner getting high. I can't see him being perfect.
God calls all men and women. Sometimes God calls them from the street and the forest. He bids all to the table to eat, but they are too busy for God. Then he calls the brokenhearted, and they come.
I'm broken.
There is more to show you. Chapter 37.
Teach us what we shall say unto him, for we cannot order our speech by reason of darkness.
Cries in anger.
Men do therefore fear him. He respecteth not any that are wise of heart.
Original score needed, and dance with the children of Israel. The theme Job done made God angry or mad. God speaks to Job from a whirlwind.
Who is this that darkeneth counsel by words and knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. But where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? Who shut up the sea doors when it brake forth, as if it had issued out of the womb?
Job looks hurt by the statements from God.
Know thou it because you were born? Or because the numbers of thy days is great? Who has divided a watercourse for the overflowing of waters, or a way for the lightning of thunder, to cause it to rain on the earth where no man is, on the wilderness wherein there is no man? Does the rain have a father? Or who hath begotten the drops of dew? Do you know the ordinances of heaven? Can you set dominion thereof in the earth? Who has put wisdom in the inward parts, or have given understanding to the heart?
What have I done? What have I done?
Job,
I'm sorry.
Job, I am almost done with my questioning.
Oh.
Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that proveth God, let him answer it.
Behold, I am vile. What should I answer thee? I will lay my hand upon my mouth. Once have I spoken, but I will not answer, yea, twice. But I will proceed no further. The end.
In the play.
Yeah, that's the end. It's not really the end. I shortened it. It's the fourth one with Job, and then the fifth is when Dorothy goes to sleep and arrives back home. There's a preacher in the land of Oz that tells her, all you have to do is go to sleep and you'll be home. After she gives him the Bible, he learns that he was the first one born of the twins. And he gets his father's inheritance.
I'm a little concerned that these two are typecast.
Yeah, they both have been, God and, yeah.
Any comments from
Would you do this in front of a congregation?
Well, this play, like I said, I've had it in my bosom for years, 38 years. So I would do it anywhere. Yeah, like I said, but I went to see a play, to finish this play, I went to see a play in Charlotte called Samson. You can Google it and it tells you the arena it was in. It was wonderful. And that's where I had to add Oz. I had in my mind early on fictional characters, and all of it just came into fruition.
So I understand the parallel between the Dorothy and the story of Job, and Uz and Oz. That works really well. But the problem I have from the beginning is there's really no stakes for Dorothy. And in the original Wizard of Oz, the thing that brings us into Dorothy is this song, Over the Rainbow. Because she's just not some girl from Kansas. She has a longing that something isn't being satisfied. And I miss that here. Yeah, I understand that Dorothy doesn't stand up, but there's nothing that really, there's no stakes.
I got you.
As we have so far. And I think you can
I hit it. It's in the 10 pages, and this is supposed to be 10 minutes.
Oh,
so
I understand.
What happens is, in the way it's set up, Aunt Sally and Uncle Paul are Dorothy's family, her mother, co-workers. So I can play it two ways. And I show the creativity tonight. They're the co-workers. Now the aunt, if, another stage, another arena, if they were African American perhaps, they'll be their brother and sister. So this Aunt Sally, her mother worked with them, and her family died. So when you see, that's missing from this 10 minutes. So her family all died. She said, I'm broken. The only thing she says, I'm broken, because her family all died in an accident, and they let her come to stay with them.
I understand that, but I think even in every scene, even if
there's
it's just an excerpt, you could pull that out more.
Yeah, there's a song similar to Over the Rainbow and The Wiz, because I'm a fan of both. There's a song, and the girl actually sings all three. Her song and the following two. But her song is from Tremaine Hawkins. I'm Coming Home is the name of that song.
Okay.
Coming Home, it says the same aura as The Wiz.
Yeah, great song choices, and I too am a big fan of both. I directed The Wiz a few years ago, and I adore that music. It's fantastic. But I wanted to go off your point that you were just saying as well, because I felt like Dorothy in the beginning, I felt like I was supposed to be following her story, and then as we got deeper into the piece, I didn't know what she was supposed to learn from, and this may be fleshed out later.
It is,
but
it's
just with what we read, I didn't know what she was supposed to learn from the
what
story.
she learned was, if you notice, she had a big mouth. She said it in the front of the congregation. So she made that joke about, I want to go, but not with that one. She was very outspoken self. You told her, you make my job easy with that mouth of yours. So what she learned, and she came back home, and Pete, that part is left out. Pete is standing outside. She walks by Pete and said, can a man like him be perfect? Then she said, her mama said, he might entertain angels, but he ain't no angel.
So Pete, we want to get as much feedback as we can, okay? So that you can take it home and take notes and stuff like that.
And I just want to finish my comments.
Okay.
And because of that, I felt like Dorothy became a secondary character. And I know that you have her as somebody stronger, but because the other characters were lovely heightened language, I'm a big fan of epic and heightened language, so bravo, that was gorgeous, and I love reading that. But I felt like she got a little lost, and as we were kind of getting through it, even though I know that she comes back, I would love to see a stronger urgency from her, an agency that really just propels her into why this is happening and what's that lesson and that through line she's got along.
And what her relationship with Job.
Yeah, and I feel like that will really help. Like, I didn't grow up in the church. I grew up as a Quaker, so like I didn't grow up with all of the symbolism, and so for those of us who don't have that context, if you want to connect with an audience that doesn't have that context, having really like specific things about Dorothy will help me go through that journey as someone who doesn't understand the references necessarily.
And that was going to be my preference. It seemed like Dorothy just jumped right in with no backstory, no anything. Even if you start out with a song.
With the church, it is Leandra.
Right, that song.
That song, the lady goes over to her, and and like sings to her that it's gonna get better. Better days are coming. And, you know, like to help her with the mourning of her mother and all them dying. But I got you.
Any other comments?
I've got one, I'm just looking at this, I like the idea of the preacher setting it up dark, I want everybody to come and bring in your report on this. And I can tell you've thought this out a lot, the background and so forth, but I'm just going by what I see here on the paper. I found myself wanting to see more stage directions, more context for the scene to help me as an actor and then later on a director, so they can have a clear idea on paper of what your intentions are.
Okay. All right, is that the final comment? Thank you very much, everybody.